CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualia, sitting here with my co-host, Mike Molyneux, and with Marv Azan. We've got a little running back issue here in New England now. Well, kind of. So on Monday, we got word that the Patriots signed former Houston Texan, former Miami Dolphin, which I don't know why, and I know he popped off in Miami, but I kind of forgot that he played for the Dolphins for a little while. I don't know why I forgot, because again, that's where he made his name, but I forgot he was there.
I tell you, you're not the only one.
So Lamar Miller coming to the New England Patriots on a one-year deal. It's a Band-Aid year. They're just throwing guys in here on one-year deals left and right. So with that signing, remember, previously we got word that Sony Michel put on the PUP list. We know this guy's got a history of injuries. So when I saw that signing, the first thought in my head is, oh no, is this Sony Michel injury worse than we thought? So guys, that's the question. Does this Patriots signing of Lamar Miller worry you about Sony Michel? Is Sony Michel in trouble? Is this guy actually hurt worse than we thought? And is this signaling that Sony Michel might be out for a good chunk of the season, at least to start it off? Marv, let's start with you. What do you think? How does Lamar Miller's signing relate to Sony Michel and his injuries?
I mean, Lamar Miller is your insurance for the year, just in case something is really seriously up with Sony Michel. I don't think we should put the panic button for Sony Michel just yet. There's the real quote-unquote training camp starts on Monday of next week in August, so we'll see. We'll get some Sony Michel updates going further, but this backfield is still in good shape once you added Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller, we all know, is a dual threat. He can run the ball efficiently, and he can catch the ball outside the backfield. Probably think of a better Rex Burkhead, in my opinion. Then you have James White, who I believe is going to have a monster year paired up with Cam Newton as the starting quarterback. And then Damian Harris. This team still likes Damian Harris. You've been hearing some good reports coming out this past week or so from the running back coach saying how much better Damian Harris has gotten in the year, how much more efficient he's been. So I like this backfield, even with or without Sony Michel coming out of the pup. This is the third year in a row that he's had a injury-riddled offseason where he's needed to get some type of surgery and whatnot. So it's unfortunate for Sony that he hasn't been able to start off fast and going strong. But this is where we are right now. And when you add a Lamar Miller to the team, you're saying that you are ready to move on without Sony Michel just in case.
Well, so again, that's my whole concern with this is Lamar Miller feels like it's, even if it is just a safety precaution, I'm worried that his signing is, okay, this might be a serious issue with Sony Michel. So this is the parachute. This is the safety blanket here in Lamar Miller, because our guy, our first-round draft pick from a couple years ago when Nick Chubb was still on the board, is hurt again. Mike, what do you think?
I think I've about had enough of Sony Michel, if we're being completely honest, in my opinion. I understand this guy is, 26 years old, I think? No, he's 25 years old, I believe. And like Marv said, it's third year, going on fourth year, or whatever the case may be. Every season, he seems to be dealing with some kind of issue. He seems to have to go into every year where he's going in hobbled. He's coming off-season surgery. He has to miss an X amount of games to start the year because something's always going on. That's a lot for a guy who's fairly young. And, the Patriots have, I think, came into this offseason with the approach of, okay, we're not throwing all our eggs in the basket of Sony Michel being the lead back, because it just seems as if it's not going to work out in terms of what his health is looking like, which is why I really like the Lamar Miller signing. I feel as if, Sony Michel could be out the door very soon. Damian Harris is a guy, I remember way back when we did our draft.
You think Bill's just done? You think Bill's fed up? Is he kick his ass out?
I mean, he's there. They're not going to just they're going to see what they can possibly get out of him. But obviously, I think the signing of Lamar Miller means a lot. They could have said, okay, we're going to see, Sony Michel get healthy and still try to ride the combination of him, Burkhead, and James White. But I feel as if they're like, look, we're not going to be waiting around for Sony Michel to maybe get right and hopefully have a good year. Let's bring in a guy, a proven veteran in this league who knows we can depend on him to get the job done. I know he's coming off of a torn ACL injury, but he had that injury way back in the preseason of last year, so he's had a lot of time to recover. But I believe that, Sony Michel could quite possibly be taking a huge backseat because, like I was just about to mention, I think the emergence of Damian Harris is right around the corner. I remember talking about him on the draft show we did and how excited I was when they got him because I believe he's coming out of Alabama. And any guy coming out of Alabama, I am a fan of. So the writing might be on the wall for Sony Michel in his future in New England because say Lamar Miller comes in and has a great year. Damian Harris really starts to show some spurts of being somebody that they can depend on. Why do you need Sony Michel? Thanks for what you've done over the last couple of years, but this train is going to keep on moving without you, possibly.
My least favorite excuse to Sony Michel has been, and look, I want Sony Michel to be successful here in New England. If he comes back, great. But my least favorite thing about Sony Michel, and I've fallen victim to this too, the excuse every time is he's a product of his offensive line. If his offensive line's playing well, then he'll play well. Well, okay, but if this guy's going to be a first-round caliber running back, I want more than that. I want if the offensive line is struggling, I still want this running back to put up some kind of production. So, with the Lamar Miller signing, you can look at it one of two ways here in New England. The Patriots, if Sony Michel wasn't an injury-riddled running back who's constantly hurt, the Lamar Miller signing would be, okay, they got a veteran on a one-year deal, much like a Jordan Matthews a couple years ago. If he works, if he strikes gold, great. They hit on him. But if he doesn't, they cut him. That's all the signing would be to me. But because it's Sony Michel, this signing, it scares me. It's worrisome for the young running back that is Sony Michel because he's just constantly hurt. And this signing tells me one thing. I think that this foot surgery that he's recovering from is taking a little longer to recover than they initially thought. And even Mike Lombardi on the GM Shuffle podcast, he said, quote, I think Sony Michel is probably destined for the reserve PUP. Mike Lombardi's tied in with the Patriots. He thinks he's destined for the reserve/PUP. I think he'll probably miss the first half of the season. I don't think there's any chance the Patriots are going to rush him back. So I think this injury, I think we know now, again, just by taking the clues from this Lamar Miller signing, that Sony Michel's hurt worse than they thought, and this recovery timetable is taking a little bit longer than they thought. But you guys, Lamar Miller, that's another exciting signing. A couple years ago, if you told me the Patriots would have Lamar Miller and Cam Newton on this team, I'd be like, what the hell are you smoking?
It's not a bad pickup from the Patriots at all. Especially one person we didn't mention, Brandon Bolden's not on the team either. So you add in a
right.
Lamar, who is a better runner than Brandon Bolden. Obviously, you miss Bolden for special teams and such, but Lamar Miller can add extra depth to that running back situation that's already has good pieces on it already.